What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and we will talk about a lot of players today. The main one is that Madrid-based newspapers are reporting that Liverpool have made a huge offer for Rodrygo worth 120 million euros, and we could even offer Luis Diaz in a swap deal for Rodrygo. That's the main story of today's video, and you will get all the details and we will compare Rodrygo and Luis Diaz and who is better and what kind of strategy Liverpool should be employing in the transfer market, because Richard Hughes is in daily conversations with Arne Slot. That's what Arne Slot confirmed in his first Liverpool interview. I told you guys all the details in yesterday's video, so make sure to watch it if you haven't already. And Liverpool still have that 115 million pound transfer budget untouched, because we bid for Moises Caicedo last summer, but that transfer didn't go through. And the Spanish source Diario Madridista suggests that Liverpool tried to offer Luis Diaz in a swap deal to sign Rodrygo from Real Madrid, because the report adds that Liverpool are very interested in Rodrygo, and also the report is adding that Liverpool got 120 million euro offer for Rodrygo rejected by Real Madrid. That is worth 101 million pounds. And with that said, the arrival of Kylian Mbappe could see Rodrygo's opportunities limited, and therefore it is suggested that Real Madrid would be willing to offload the attacker for a fee of 127 million pounds, which is 150 million euros. These are crazy transfer amounts, but if Liverpool can bid 115 million for Moises Caicedo, we can bid 125 million for Rodrygo. As for Luis Diaz, Liverpool are claiming that they have slapped, the report is claiming that Liverpool have slapped a 75 million euro price tag on Luis Diaz, which is 63 million pounds. Let me know, would you sell Luis Diaz for 65 million? I would only sell him for around 75 million. And Barcelona are very interested in Luis Diaz, and Barcelona are getting their finances in order, and we will compare Luis Diaz's stats with Rodrigo Stats. But first, let's look at this report from Diario Madridista that Rodrygo has options to leave Real Madrid. Liverpool are very insistent on wanting the player. So just a heads up, this article was Google translated, so it might not be like perfectly accurate English, but still the report from Diario Madridista, which is a Madrid-based news outlet, is saying that Liverpool has the signing of Rodrygo, the Real Madrid attacker, as a priority. Liverpool want to make a splash in the transfer market with signing the Brazilian footballer. And according to this journalist who wrote this report, Rodrygo is uneasy at Real Madrid. He knows that next season he will have brutal competition for his place with the additions of Endrick and Mbappe. He made the statements, and in Brazil it was ratified that Rodrygo's transfer is a possibility, because he is looking at his future and whether he will be a regular starter at Real Madrid or not. And offers are starting to come in, and Liverpool have already bid more than 100 million for Rodrygo. And Liverpool have already asked about him. We have already talked to his agent. But Man City also like Rodrygo, because Rodrygo did really well against Man City in the Champions League. Both times that when Real Madrid knocked out Manchester City, Rodrygo was influential with his goals and his general play. Liverpool have all the money they want. I'm not saying that he leaves, but that they love him. Liverpool have asked about Rodrygo. That's what the journalist is claiming. He's a player who at the beginning of the season, it might not affect his place. If Bellingham has surgery, then Real Madrid would have enough places to play Mbappe, Endrick, Rodrygo, Vinicius Junior. If Bellingham goes under surgery, but starting in October, Rodrygo might not play as much as he wants. And the Madrid-based news outlet is also claiming that Liverpool would involve one of their most sought after players, Luis Diaz, in exchange for Rodrygo. And Eduardo Inda, a journalist in the El Chiringuito famous Spanish program, announced that Real Madrid rejected an offer of 100 million pounds for Rodrygo. Liverpool, if they want to get Rodrygo, know that they will have to raise their bid in if they want to get the player, because Man City, Arsenal and Man United are keeping a close eye on Rodrygo. And Rodrygo knows that there will be a lot of offers for his signature. Rodrygo is very clear that his vital objective is to play and to succeed at Real Madrid. But having already won the Champions League twice in the last 3 seasons, perhaps he can set other objectives, such as trying to win it with another legendary team like Liverpool. Liverpool already know that they must raise their bid to 150 million euros if they want to get Rodrygo. I like this journalist that he called Liverpool another legendary team. I really like this. And the Madrid-based journalist is claiming that Real Madrid rejected the swap deal offer from Liverpool, that they offered Luis Diaz plus some money in exchange for Rodrygo, even though the journalist claims that Luis Diaz is one of the most outstanding players in the Premier League, fast, lethal in one-on-one situations and with a very acceptable scoring ability. Luis Diaz would be a starter for many teams in the world, but maybe not in Ancelotti's Real Madrid, because Vinicius Junior and Mbappe, they are better players than Luis Diaz. And I would argue that even Rodrygo is better than Luis Diaz. That's why Liverpool want to upgrade on the position of Luis Diaz. And Real Madrid have an attack like nobody else in the world, where they have variety, youth and talent to spare. No other team in Europe can boast of having a defensive arsenal of Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Rodrygo, Bellingham, Endrick, Brahim Diaz, Arda Güler and even Joselu. The list of offensive players we'll have that Real Madrid will have next season is truly savage. I'm not sure if that's the correct translation, but I like it. And that's why Real Madrid rejected Luis Diaz, and then Luis Diaz's agent offered Luis Diaz to Barcelona. And Luis Diaz's father openly flirted with Barcelona and the idea of Luis Diaz one day going to Barcelona. But at the moment, Barcelona have Lamine Jamal at the right side, but they don't have a left winger really as good as Luis Diaz. They have Ferran Torres, but he's not as good. Barcelona are also interested in Nico Williams, who has a clause of more than 50 million euros. I think actually Liverpool should and could go after Nico Williams as well. But in this video I want to focus on Rodrygo. Luis Diaz is 27 years old, so is it at the prime of his career? But you could argue that he might not improve that much. And having 41 goals in 121 games, 125 games is decent, but it's not spectacular. It's not world class. It's not as good as Rodrygo's numbers. He has 41 goals in 125 games for Porto, but his numbers at Liverpool are not as spectacular. And Hansi Flick apparently also likes Luis Diaz a lot, but Barcelona need to free up some money. They need to sell some players if they want to sign Luis Diaz, who will cost a lot in the transfer market, and he has a big salary as well. And if we are looking at Luis Diaz's numbers, he has 98 games for Liverpool, 24 goals and 10 assists. So that's 34 goal contributions in 98 games. Once every 3 games he either scores or assists. Of course, it's not as good as Mo Salah or Diogo Jota, but he's up there. He's a really good, decent winger. But I was never really totally convinced by Luis Diaz. He has a really decent goal return. He cost around £50 million from Porto, and he still has another 3 years left on his contract. So if Liverpool sell him, we would only sell him for a lot of money. But I mean, he played 51 games this season and scored 13 goals and got 4 assists. So 17 goal contributions in 51 games. I think he missed a lot of chances. So if he could improve his finishing, that could see him get even more goals and assists. But the big question is, will he improve his finishing? When he's 27 years old, players don't suddenly improve that much or get better that much, but it's certainly a possibility that he will still improve and get better. Because if you compare Rodrygo's numbers, they played the same amount of games. Luis Diaz played 51 games, as you could see. Rodrygo played 51 games. Luis Diaz had 13 goals, 4 assists. Rodrygo had 17 goals and 9 assists. And Rodrygo, as I said, said, 4 years younger than Luis Diaz as well, with much better goal scoring output. And you can't argue really that La Liga is a lot tougher than the Premier League. I think La Liga is even a better league in terms of the mid-table sides are better probably than in the Premier League. And last season, where Luis Diaz was injured a lot, he only played 26 games, scoring something like 6 goals. Last season, Rodrygo had an even better season than this season, because he scored 19 goals and got 11 assists in 57 games. So he was never injured. He played a lot of games for Real Madrid, and he scored and assisted 30 goals combined, which is really, really impressive. So I'm convinced that Rodrygo is a better player than Luis Diaz, but he costs more money as well. Is he worth 125 million? I think he is. If you sell Luis Diaz for 75, basically you upgrade Luis Diaz to Rodrygo for 50 million, and you get a player 4 years younger who is also an absolutely fantastic electric player. I mean, he scored 5 goals and got 2 assists in the Champions League last season. And this season he also got 5 goals, got 3 assists as well, and he scored in both legs against Man City, home and away. So he absolutely loves playing against Manchester City, scoring goals, so he can do it against the best and biggest teams in the Premier League. And what is really impressive about Rodrygo is that even though 2 seasons ago, so last season, so in 21-22, he scored 9 goals and got 10 assists as a 21-year-old, which is also very, very impressive in 49 games. So he's not an injury-prone player. Luis Diaz, Jota, they always pick up little knocks, little niggles. Jota, big knocks sometimes. He missed a large chunk of this season and last season. So we need a player who is reliable, who is a proven goal scorer, who makes the team better, and who is hardly ever injured. And Rodrygo fits the bill and ticks all the boxes. So let me know, do you want Liverpool to go after Rodrygo? Should we bid 125 million for Rodrygo? The only way I can see Liverpool bidding that much is if we sell Luis Diaz. I think Mo Salah is staying, Darwin Núñez is staying, Diogo Jota is staying, Cody Gakpo is certainly staying. Luis Diaz is the only attacker that I can see Liverpool selling in this summer transfer window, but I'm not sure if Barcelona would offer 70-75 million for Luis Diaz. They just don't have that amount of money. And Richard Hughes is in active talks with Arne Slot over incoming transfers this summer, so they are already talking about signing players like Rodrygo. Arne Slot confirmed that work with the team, prepare the team in the best possible way, and me and Richard Hughes are going to work together when it comes to transfers. But not only the two of us, there is a big backroom staff included in this as well at Liverpool. I think for me it is the way I've worked always, and it is for me the ideal way of working, because I can use most of my time by working with the team, working with the players, and the time that is left will probably be a bit for the family and a bit to talk with Richard about how we can strengthen the team. But we already have a really strong team, so Arne Slot suggested that Liverpool don't need to make a lot of transfers, and I agree. I think we just need to tweak the squad a little bit. I think if the right player is available, we should sign an attacker. Rodrygo is 4 years younger than Luis Diaz and a better player as well. I didn't have time to talk about other players, even though I was planning to, but we had so much information that we got about Rodrygo to share with you guys, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.